Grandmaster Levon Aronian takes fort. He is taking on Indian Grandmaster Aravindh Chithambaram here. Arvind has the white pieces. Levon Aronian with black. The third game in the rapid section of the Superbet Rapid 2025. Arvind had just finished his game in round 2 with a heartbreaking loss against Pragnananda. Let's see how he manages to recover. It won't be easy, and he's taking on Levon, one of the best players in the world. He has had 2 draws here, a handshake, and we are about to go. Arvind opens the game with 1 e4, and what is Levon's response going to be? He goes for the fighting French defense. Interesting choice. d4, d5 played here. The French is on the board, and Arvind plays the Tarash opening with knight to d2. c5 played by Levon. The main move here is to take queen takes d5, and that's a very interesting line that has been played a lot. So Arvind prefers to go knight f3. This has more fluidity in the center. You will see that black could take here. He takes on d4, knight takes d4, and now if you take here, the center is kind of extinguished for white but has piece activity. Knight e7 by Levon, a very, very subtle move. ed, he takes back with the knight here, and now you can see that both sides have free flowing development. Black can develop the bishop, quickly castle, so can white. The only thing that seems to be lacking, knight d7, is the black bishop on c8. It's a little bit passive, but I am sure that Levon can find a way to activate it in the game. He goes a6, a very useful move, taking away the b5 square from both the bishop and the knight. The queen will stand on c7, which is a perfect square. White castles here. And now queen to c7, a nice move. Looking in this direction, looking here. The queen is very happy. Rook e1 played. This is still opening preparation for Arvind. Bishop e7 played here. And now knight f5 would be a very nice move, because after ef5, you can take on d5. But instead, Arvind goes c4. Levon very happily comes back with his knight. And now pawn to a3. The plan now is to play b4 followed by bishop b2. Black simply castles here. And Arvind does play b4, gaining more space. b6 played here to get the bishop finally developed on this long diagonal. And he plays bishop to f1. Now the question does remain, do you want to put your bishop on b2 here like this? It does weaken the f4 square a bit, and so we see Arvind going bishop g5, and the idea never is to take on f6 but rather bishop h4 to g3. That's his plan. He wants to play his bishop from, yes, this is one of the typical ideas in such structures. Anatoly Karpov used to play it a lot. Bishop d6 played here, which is a nice move, stopping the threat of bishop g3. And now Arvind plays his queen to b3. He's making active moves here. g6 is a beautiful move by black. He's threatening now e5 so that the knight doesn't jump to the f5 square. Bishop comes to g3. And I believe e5 would be very, very powerful. But first Levon tries to take at g3. And now do we have e5 here? It seems very logical. e5, knight c2, e4. But he goes knight g4. And he's trying to look at this square on f2. Knight c2 back. And now a5. Hacking away at the structure on the queen side. Knight to e3. Offering a trade here. Knight to f6 played. And now rook c1. He brings his rook into the center of the board. ab4. ab4 played. And now knight takes e3, taken by black. Well, there was an option to take on f2 and go knight h5 with an attack here. But instead he goes knight e3, queen takes e3 played. Bishop takes f3. And g takes f3, improving the structure slightly for white. Now white does have queenside pawns, but black is the one who's attacking them. There's a majority here. Do you want to play c5? Aravindh plays it. Now very important to play knight d5, but he blunders here, rook b4. He's missed a very important resource here that Aravindh has. Can you try and find it? It's an amazing move. The move is actually queen a3. The rook is running out of squares actually. And he finds it. Aravindh finds it. If you take bc, I take the rook and the queen is hanging. So rook d4 and now queen b2 attacking the rook and the b6 pawn and e5. Levon saves the rook here, but he's not going to be able to save his b6 pawn. This pawn suddenly becomes a monster. And b7 played, threatening to make a queen. You can look at Aravindh. He looks excited. He knows he has a chance to beat Levon. Queen a3 again pinning. Queen b6 attacking this pawn, but rook c6. What a nice move. Attacking the knight and the queen. You have to take the rook. And now queen takes b4 taken. Threatening again to queen. Rook b8 played to stop the pawn. Does Levon have any chances against such an advanced pawn? He's not material down. He goes knight e8. He's coming to d6 to win the pawn on b7. Aravind's best move is bishop d3. He finds it. Bishop d3, and in case of knight d6, queen b6. He does play knight d6, and now important to play queen b6. No, he goes bishop e4. Now take it. No, instead Levon plays queen c7. The moves that Levon is blitzing out are the ones that he's making an error here. 5 minutes 38 seconds for Levon. Bishop d5 played, looking here on the f7 pawn. And now Aravindh is totally winning, because this bishop, which was earlier could have been captured, now is sitting tremendously strong. So queen d7 played. Queen to b2 attacking the pawn on e5. And now queen f5, just improving the queen, defending the pawn. It's not so simple to know how will white break through, but rook e1, he wants to provoke f6 and then get in with the queen here. So queen f6 played, and maybe now you can take the pawn on e5, but he plays rook a1. Aravindh is like, I'm getting in here. Knight takes b7, he gives up the piece, but that's not going to be enough here. Aravindh can simply chop it off. Bishop takes b7, h5 played. Well, the point here was the queen f3 doesn't work because of check, and then I pick up this. So h5, and now rook a8 played by Aravindh. This endgame is slightly tricky for white to convert, but not much. I mean, he's after all a piece up and should be able to convert this. h4 played, and you can play g4, but gh4 even better. Taking back here means e5 is hanging. So he goes queen f4. And the bishop comes back to d5 for Aravindh. Yeah, he's playing this well. f6, but now just the queen entering in should be good enough. I mean, there were many ways to win here. He goes check, king h7, and bishop g8. Takes the pawn. Is this bishop endgame against the pawns winning? Should you trade the queens? He takes it. King takes, and it seems like it's a winning endgame. King g2 played. f5, and now bishop f7. Plays his bishop to d5. He brings back his king. King g3 coming up even further. King h5. And now bishop e6. Waiting here for black to do something. King g5. Bishop d7. King h5 and f4 here. Levon resigns with a smile, and what a nice win there for Aravindh. The tactic queen a3 was really beautiful by Aravindh, and I think rook takes b4 was the error there. Instead of that, if he would have played knight d5, the position was equal. Levon played the opening really well, but the move that he played rook b4, he missed queen a3, and then in the end he could have traded his knight for the bishop, which would have given him good drawing chances. But what a comeback from Aravindh. He is now on 50% score in this tournament, and this win was much needed for him. A great game by the youngster from India.